right, we'll get a mic check here real quick. All right, and we are live. What's going on, everybody, and welcome to what is the start of Season 3 in the NARS Racing Cup Series. That was a terrible way to pronounce that, but it's okay. We'll practice that as the season goes on. My name is Wellbridge, and I am going to be the voice of the NARS Racing League for this season. And I'm very excited as we had the Clash as kind of a season preview to how this one's going to look. And now we kick it off, starting at Daytona with the 500, not the full 500, 50%, so about 250 miles. But we're going to get it kicked off here. Right now, qualifying is done. So we'll look at that. AM Art is starting on the pole. And give me 1 second. I can tell you who's starting second. It's Jet Blast in the 1. So those are your two, starters, or your front row. Third is Slick Nick in the 9. Fourth will be Snowy in the 38. Fifth, if I can read, will be Parley in the 42, a rookie to this league. I think he's a rookie. I know he's a rookie to me in this league because I don't know half these guys. Then 6 will be Nascarillo. I was just talking about you in the 99. And then 7th, Aussie Rules in the 19. 8th place will be Rhinov in the 34. 9th will be Jacob in the 77. 10th will be T-Dog in the 24. 11th, Jacori Farkle in the 6. 12th will be Push in Heaven in the 4. 13th, I gotta go back over here. And then John Waterforce in 13th in the 17. And 14th will be D'Artagnan in the 14. And then Daytona, 999 in the 45. And Zach N6 in the 48. Both did not qualify. They will start shotgun to the field in 15th and 16th. That is your starting lineup for the season opener at Daytona. Still waiting on these guys to get the driver meeting over with, discussing all the in-race stuff and blah, blah, blah. All the stuff I don't need to worry about. I just got to worry about finding things to talk about. But we're going to get this one kicked off here pretty shortly. We actually got a couple of drivers in the chat. That's Parley, who's in the 42. And we just talked about the 99 also being in here of Nascarillo. Also going to be watching this stream throughout the race as he uses his eyes as his ears and doesn't race with volume, which throws a lot of people off because it also throws me off. I can't race without hearing the motor, but that's just me. I also just can't drive. So there's that, which is why I'm up here and I'm not on the track.
Like you get back up in the corner on accident?
And now just waiting on the invites. So that way we can get in on this. But it's okay if we don't get one. I know of a backdoor trick to get in. It's not going to be cool, but it's going to be what we need to do. And I figured while we wait, we'll go over the clash of last week. Last week was actually one of the better Daytona races I've ever seen. It was, even though it was an exhibition, no points involved, I don't believe. I mean, there was 2x2 a lot of the times, and let me tell you, out of all the Daytona races I've ever seen, they made the high line work. So if you want to see that race, just go to the channel and go back a video, and you guys can see all that action because it was a good one. It was one for the ages. You had your typical one guy controlling the race, but it's not like it was that usual one line on the bottom or the top or whatever. No, these guys were racing hard. And if it's a preview of what we're going to see today, it's going to be one for the books. And this time we get it for an even longer duration, 100 laps to kick the NARS season off. And Parley was the winner of that of the clash to preview the season and preview what we're going to see today. Right now, just going over the do's and don'ts of today's race is what I am hearing. All right, so we're getting the invites in now. I'm starting to get worried. All right, we're getting invites from everybody now. It's not just the one, so hopefully that means we're about to kick this one off. All right, now we're just getting done roll call, and then we'll get this one underway. We're getting a ton of live streams, which I am appreciative of. Oh, perfect. We're also getting some clarification of specific names, because apparently I was getting some names wrong, which is totally my B, but it's fine. Well, still working out the kinks of this one. All right, we are officially getting the final countdown to start. To the 10-second mark we go. And then this race will be underway. Here we go. The start of the NARS Cup season. It's actually season 3. I thought NARS was around. Well, they were around. They were just under another name. But here we go. Getting ready to jump in to see the green flag. And here we go. Into the green flag we go. The NARS Cup Series Season 3 is underway. Amar gonna lead him to the green. Jet Blast to his outside. The question is how long is the outside gonna go? You saw the 19 hit the double yellow. Look at how wacky. Oh, the 22. Or 34, sorry. Oh, he's trying to get to the bottom. Thought he was going to get clear off of turn 2. Not. Reinov stuck to the outside. The 5 trying to block. Back up at the front. They're side by side with the 38 up in the high line. The 34 of Reinov. Having some troubles in the outside lane. Just 3 up top at the front. Contact between Parley. Oh, no. And now it's the 1 and the 9 on the outside. The 5 with no help. This is where they're going to feel it down the backstretch, but look at the help to the inside. You got NASCARillo. And the 77 of Jacob, who's up to the 3rd position. Started outside the top 5, now sits in 3rd behind the 19 and the 5. As everybody's starting to get to the bottom now, leaving the 1 out to dry goes the entire field. Falling in line behind your pole sitter of Amar. And we're probably going to see these guys be a lot less aggressive as soon as I say that. The 77 tries to take a peek to the outside to see if anybody's going to be willing to go with him. Nobody takes the bait. He has enough room back on the bottom. The 19 shuffled out. Now he'll fall to the back of this train, and you can just look to see how far it is. Oh, and you saw some cars that were going to actually go up top with them fall back in line. And just look at this. Here comes the 77. The 99 going to help him. That is Nescarillo and the 77 of Jacob. Jacob will clear to the lead, try and block the 5. He'll have to chop the nose down. 5 shoots high. We're splitting up here. The 99 of Nescarillo up top now with the 17. That is of John Waterforce. Started near the back. And now he's fighting for a top 5 spot. Oh! A lot of craziness on that inside. The 77 loses all help. Move the 5 back to the pole with the 99. And now John Waterforce up to third as Nescarillo. Ooh, takes a peek to the inside. What a move! Follows the field, and everybody going to the bottom now. And that's going to leave the 5 out to dry. John Waterforce up to second. That's the 48 of Zach and 6, who missed qualifying and had to start in dead last in 16th. He's already fought his way up to third. In Daytona, getting into some incident or playing that safe game, is we got a couple of cars back here. The 14 of D'Artagnan. Sorry. Oh, and John Waterforce losing that second spot. He'll get trained, but only loses 2. He was in second, now sits in P4. But look at this. The outside line starting to work something up. They pick up the 17 of John Waterforce, and now will try and work their way up. They got the 1, and by the looks of things, I don't know who that last car in line is. It's the 4 of Pushing Heaven. And this is just how squirrely this track can be. Right now, though, 7 laps complete. We're going to get back up here to the front with the 17 of John Waterforce, who's now your race leader. Ahead of the 99. Like I said, this is a lot of what we saw in the clash from last week. These guys are really making that outside line work. And look at this. The 42 of Parley started up at the front and then got freight trained to the back after some trouble on the bottom. He's now fighting for P3, but the outside line starting to break down. The 99 Nescarillo tries to sneak to the inside of Waterforce, but not able to make it stick. I really wish we could make that Daytona 500 logo like really small, but unfortunately it blocks half of that backstretch view. As Parley going to get freight trained again and have to work his way back up from the back of this long line of at least 12 cars. And now all the mischief and mayhem is over. Everybody looking to go a little single file, and I was exactly right, because Parley at the tail end of the line is sitting 12th. Right now, John Waterforce in the 17, and here we go. The 24 jumping out. The 5 with him, the 4 with him. The 6 tried to go. That is the 24 of T-Dog. He's maneuvered his way up into the top 5. Gonna try it again. The 77 more than happy to go with him. Right now, though, it is 2. Oh, and the 24 got shuffled out. The 77. And this is the game of chess at Daytona, or these restrictor plate races, is pusher versus leader. Whose car has the speed to be the lead car in a drafting situation, and who's going to be the one to do the work? And this could have been the situation where the 77 just looks at the 24 and says, hey, you might not be the guy to lead this train. I'm going to go around you. But unfortunately, it looked like the 77 just played the 24 to get him to go outside and then snuck underneath him. As Parley's trying to give me a stroke on his stream right now. As he has lost that lead draft. Yeah, Parley, the next victim of losing the draft. And here is Snowy in the 38, one of the guys playing the safe, or forced to be playing the safe route. Yeah, but John Waterford is starting damn near last. Now leading here as we are a third of the way through. 12. This is the start of the 12th lap of 32 here in stage number 1. Well, we'll do a full field rundown. John Waterforce, your race leader, the 99 of Nascarillo. In second, that 48 of Zach NX sits in third. The 77 of Jacob sits fourth. The 6 car of Jacori Farkle sits fifth, rounding out the top 5. The 4 of Pushin' Heaven sixth. I don't know why I can't speak. My Parley is legitimately giving me a stroke. But here in 7th, we got Slick Nick in the 9. Then the 1 who started shotgun to the front row, Jet Blast, sits 8th. The 24 in 9th of T-Dog, going to try and make a run to the outside. Why not make things interesting? But no, not enough help. Just the 5. 2 does not beat 8. And so he'll drop back in line. And now John Waterforce will relinquish the race lead. This is something you will see a lot of on restrictor plate tracks because of saving fuel. This will give him time to let off the gas, because up in the front, you are on the gas all the time. You are 100% R2 all the way down. Now, if he goes back in the draft, 6 in the wall, evasive maneuvers taken. 19 gets a little slippery through 3 and 4, and he ends up getting into the 6, who was already into the wall, and kind of prolonging his stay. But back to the 17 and his situation, he's saving fuel. Now that he's in the pack, try to get to him here. But yeah, now that he's in the pack, now he can go 3/4 throttle. Now he can go full throttle in the corners and go 3/4 down the straightaways. He does not have to be full throttle, and he can now save fuel. If you're up front, you are R2 down no matter what. If you aren't in this draft at all, you are R2 down. So now he can save. Now he's saved a little bit. He's going to try and see what he can make on the outside. And look at the line behind him. Oh, man. This could get insane. And the hard part is you can see in the corners, working the outside line is hard when you have a bunch of guys on controller. If they were on wheels, it would be different. But because they're on controller, keeping your car steady through these bends is tricky. Because down here on the bottom, it's so much easier because you have a visual guide. You have that double yellow line. And you can kind of lean on it a tad, you know, because you have that drastic dip to the flat concrete you see, or not concrete, but the flat embankment on the bottom. You can kind of lean on it. It's so drastic that your car, well, if you dip your car down too much, it'll shoot you up. But if you lean on it a little bit, you can kind of use it as a guide to get you through the corners. As John Waterforce is trying to make something happen on the outside. Here comes the 5. The 19 and the 24 are going to try and work with him. The 9 did not decide to go with him that time. But that outside through the corner, see, you don't have a visual, you don't have a guide to follow to like really lean your car into to help you through those corners. So that's why you see all these guys on the outside really bobbing up and down, because now you don't now you're not just trying to keep your car from going away to one side, you're trying to keep it from going away to both sides. It's real tricky art being able to work the outside line with a team of cars behind you, because keeping a steady rhythm through the corners is that much more difficult. The 9 getting shuffled out. He wanted to try some outside stuff, but oh my, he tried to force it down between the 19 and the 24, because what happened with the 42 is he didn't get down quick enough and he lost that draft. He couldn't regain, the momentum to get back in the draft, and he ended up losing the leaders. Luckily, Daytona's a big track, and he's probably got a chance to not go a lap down, but that's the risk you take when you when you get shuffled through the field. Is right now you got a lot of room to get runs and try and make things happen, and if they don't work, you have the room to get down. But when the pack is tight-knit, you really got to time it. Because if you can't get back to the bottom, that's the risk you run. And here we see already coming up to lap traffic, the 34 of Reinov, the first to lose the lead draft, as we added another car down pit road, the 42 of Parley. Now, this is not what you want to see if you're the 42, because of the fact that here on a drafting track, these guys are now losing no time to Parley, even if he gets 4 tires. Which, even if he gets 2, anything to help his car does not matter, because of the fact that these guys are in the draft. Because they're in the draft, they can keep their momentum up and keep a steady lap time, because they never have to let off the throttle in the corners. There's no heavy wear and tear. The only thing that's tearing apart is your fuel tank. That's it. And so when you go down pit road for these green flag stops, you want to have that guy have help with you. And if you don't have that help, you are just damaging yourself more than anything. But in Parley's case, he didn't have that help to begin with. He would have had to have jumped ship on other drivers who came down. But Parley was already a lap behind, or half a lap behind everybody anyway. So it wouldn't have helped him to have gone down pit road with any of these guys. So it was really a no-win situation, but that's just a situation you want to have when you pit under green on these restrictor plate tracks, is you want to have that help, because then it'll help you on exit. That's the key part, is you want that help when you exit pit road, to get your lap times up faster so you don't lose that much momentum, and to have that help to maintain that pace, so that way when all these guys come down, which is literally everybody, this is the entire lead pack now pitting, which is not what all these other guys wanted to see, and it's certainly not what I wanted to see, because now I can't tell you who's leading, or I can. It's a 99 technically. But this means that all these guys that came down, as we see some awesome in-game graphics right there, all these guys that came down previously, is here comes the second grouping, just now getting off of pit road, along with all the leaders as well. So this is going to be awesome, as we're seeing awesome in-game logic here. As the 4. So this is all the leaders. This is everybody. Oh, the 5 unable to stay on the bottom there. A lot of cars unable to stay on the bottom. And now this car, the 99 and Nascarillo, has to catch up to that 4 who's now in the lead. Now, one thing he can, well, what he has to do is drop back a little bit because there's no shot. Well, he can't because I thought there was more guys behind him than this, honestly. Is you could drop back because you do have 10 laps to go. This is 10 laps to go. So you can drop back with the 48 to the 5 to the 2 cars working with him. They're working behind him. As you can already see, dropping back to that 48. That's why you run the high line. So that way, the inside line is still the dominant line. So now he's got a partner. Now what they can do is drop back like the 5 just did. You see him now. He backed up to the 2 cars that were working together behind him, which I believe is the 24 and the 19. And it is. Now these 2 can just drop back, and then you got 5 cars working together instead of 3 and 2, and they'll help you potentially catch up, or you just keep biding your time and let these 3 catch up to you so you don't lose that much time yourself. But then you got this 14 car, D'Artagnan. He's going to be getting to put a lap down. And then after that, the 42 of Parley, who's on the lead lap, but only by a quarter of a lap. He is right now just crossing the start-finish line on the stream as they were entering turn 4 as I'm watching it. Now as they cross the line on the stream, they are just now crossing the line as they're entering turn 1. So he's about a straightaway ahead of this lead group here, which is not sticking that well together. And look out behind them. Look at those 5 in the back. They are slowly finding each other. Now, actually, look at this. The 3 cars that were working together want to go by them, keep their momentum. This is a smart move. You keep your momentum. Oh, as they get a little discombobulated, though, the 5 lost it, couldn't get to the bottom fast enough. This is not what you wanted to see, because what they did was smart. You keep your momentum, and then these guys just suck up to you, and then the train continues rolling. But unfortunately, the 5 just could not get down to the double yellow line as quick as he wanted to, and now he'll drop to the back end of these 4, or the back end of this train of 5. And now they got to regather that momentum so that way they can get back to the lead pack. And what this lead pack doesn't want to do is what they were just doing going into turn 3 and 4 that last time by, which is get all discombobulated, have cars bobbing and weaving, have cars up high, have cars going everywhere. You want to stay as tight as you can so that way that's less guys fighting for that stage win. And so that way, instead of having 11 guys fighting for it, you just have this main group of 7. And I did say 7. I can do math, and I can actually count. So that's also cool things. Yeah, I just saw Yates in the chat. He said, hey, what's up, Yates? And now you see everybody all tight-knit. The 19 now leading that group back here with the 24 in tow. They got about, I want to say this is coming to 5 laps to go. This group has to close in that gap. And you can see they are as tight together as you can be, and that lead group is not. You see them, like I said, too much space right here. Now it's 2 groups technically. You have a group of 4 and a group of 3 that are not synced up. Meanwhile, look at this tight-knit group right here. Look at how synced they are. They are going to catch that lead group in absolutely no time at all. Probably in the next 2 laps they'll be with them. So this is going to be an 11-car fight for the stage win, which should be an exciting bout to see. As I'm trying to get back to the lead car right here, pushing heaven. And there they are. They've already caught him. It didn't even take 2 laps. It took him less. Took him another half a lap, and here they go. They're going to look to the outside. 99 gets a little squirrely. The 1 going to go up there with him. And now this is what that line wants to see. See, they're still holding true to their form. Tight together. Keep the momentum. And now you have all these guys up at the top. Look at how many cars are up there now compared to the bottom. You got 4 against 7, which is a losing fight. Now, how can they handle the corners? The 77, oh, the 9 gets squirrely. The 77 going to go up. Will the 4 be able to get up there with them? No time now. The 77 is there. The 4 are going to have to hold true on the bottom, but now help comes with them. The 1 gets some cold feet about the high line. He's going to come back down to earth, and he'll get to the bottom. Oh, as they go everywhere, and they're wrecking. 2 cars involved. The 17 involved, and the caution flies. The 45, the 99. NASCARillo in it. The 19 of Aussie Rules in it. The 24 of T-Dog also involved. And a multitude of others were involved in that, but as I think my streamer has ended his stream. So we'll go to our backup of Amar, the 5, who will be following now. And here we go. Getting ready to go green. Here, back at it to finish stage 1. Green flag is out. Oh, never mind that. That was the end of stage 1, I believe. There's 32 laps to go, so I believe Pushing Heaven was your stage 1 winner. I got all discombobulated because of my stream going down. I didn't know how many laps we had left. But here comes the 77 of Jacob to the outside. Look at this outside line, as beautiful as could be down the backstretch. And now we suffer through the corners. That's pretty much what you do, is you suffer through. Gather it up as quick as you can here on the straightaways. And now this outside line should have a little momentum. They're a little bit more formed up, but it's not looking so, as we got 31 laps to go here in stage 2. And here now you see that outside line starting to fall apart. The 77, now we got some help here. The 9 wants to have some fun on the outside. Oh, and now gets shuffled. The outside has to check up and is now losing spots. Everybody's losing rhythm. But now everybody's back in it. The 4 gonna try and go up to try and block that lane. 24 in the back loses a little bit of composure. Oh, we're going 3 wide out of turn 3. The 77 of Jacob to the inside of the 9. Finds a home in front of the 42 of Parley. Now here we go. John Waterforce. And Amar to the outside with the 24. The 19 and the 1 up ahead, also doing the same thing. Jet Blast going to lead that outside line. It's 4 on 5. Oh, and John Waterforce gets shoved out by the 19. A little discombobulation with that outside line. And now they've dropped 34. And John Waterforce to have it coming together. Reinov in the 34. Sorry, still learning names. But out front still, the 4 of Pushing Heaven. Parley, now the leader of that outside line. We'll see if killing his stream helps with his lag issues being pushed around by the 9. That is the 9 of a Slick Nick. Took a peek to the inside of the 42, but everybody stays in tandem. But still, it's just not enough. They aren't cohesive like they were. Oh, the 9 out of line and into the wall. Slick and Nick gets shuffled out of line. The only problem is you really don't have a place to go when that happens. And the only place he did go was into the outside wall, but finds a home in front of the 14. And that is D'Artagnan. It was right on the tip of my tongue. But Zach N6 sits second behind NASCAR Rillo in the 99. You see the 42. Ford jumps up to the outside. Might be trying that fallback save fuel technique. The only problem is there's a lot of drivers who want to use that outside line. John Waterforce being one of them. The 19. Losing traction on that outside. Ends up getting into the wall, and that breaks the outside line apart. Not enough to lose a ton of momentum. They can fight back from this. But they choose not to. The Ford, I think, 42 saw that the 4 was just trying to save fuel and backed out of that. Now Parley trying the outside again. Nobody goes with him. There's the 45 of Daytona. And now your leader, the 48 of Zach N6. Right now, 24 laps to go here in stage 2. Because I wish I could see the actual lap count on my stream that I'm watching, which is the 5. Whose name I'm trying to remember, but my name sucks. My memory sucks. Amar. Oh, we're only 9 laps into stage 2. That's crazy. Now 10 laps into stage 2. 10 of 32 complete. As the outside line being led by John Waterforce trying to get going. Ow. This is 17 of John Waterforce begging for more help. Push me, please, please. If you could see his in-car, there was an actual driver there. You'd see his hand going crazy in the middle, asking for help, and John Waterforce gets that help. And now he is back to the lead at Daytona. With Amar, Parley, the 24, Jet Blast, and the 1. The 24 is T-Dog. I'm going to remember these at some bloody point. But now Waterforce says, all right, we got enough cars. I'm going to the bottom. And leaving the 1 and the 4 out to dry. 11 laps complete. The top 5 completely shifted, as these cars weren't even in the top 5 to begin with, now find themselves 1 through 4. John Waterforce now finds himself back to the lead. It's amazing how well these guys can manage their track position, and how quickly they can work their way to the front. And the 5 now with Parley in behind him. Parley made it look like he was going to the outside. The 5 tried to squeeze back in, couldn't do it. Now Parley will sit P2. T-Dog in second. Or T-Dog in third, my bad. Zach will sit fourth. And then NARS Carrillo in the 99. Rounding out the top 5. Now some little bit of, hey, do you want to work together going over the radio, is probably planning for that mid-stage pit stop, as we're gonna have about a 40-plus lap sprint. There in the final stage to decide our season opener winner. Right now, everybody's back to minding their P's and Q's. Nobody taking too many risks yet. As we saw in stage 1, where those risks can take you, and it ended up ending the stage under yellow. But other drivers say, meh, why not? You see the 4 pushing heaven, trying to get with those couple of cars he saw jump to the outside, unable to do so as everybody jumps back down to the bottom. And now he'll have to find his position back in line. Probably could have gotten in front of that 38, but thought better of it. Made sure that he had the work, or the room, or wasn't sure that he had the room. And now we'll fall back in the last car on the lead line, and now he might lose the lead line, and Parley might as well. There in the 42, he gets shuffled out. But luckily the 4 will have his draft. The 4 will catch that 42, and maybe we can work together to try and catch back up. Now as we are coming to 16 completed laps. And the 42 and the 4 continuing to lose time on the leaders. That'll be a good point to stop our little mid-race break we were just having. John Waterforce not willing to give that lead up after fighting so hard to get it. He stays out front here. We got 18 of 32 completed laps in stage 2. And when will we see, the big question really, when will we see all these drivers come down pit road? Where is... Yeah, the 42 and the 4 completely lost touch with that lead group. Unfortunately, 2 is not better than 12. So, unfortunately, and I hate this stupid glitch where I lose my car audio. But no real changes in the field yet. We'll have to wait for the green flag stops. Here comes Amar. He's like, hold my beer real quick. Group of 4 cars now going to try that outside. Or are they doing this because everybody on the inside is pitting? We'll have to wait and see. No, he just wants to do it for the fun of it. Here comes Amar in the 5. Oh, there was a voice crack. That was a weird moment there. But unfortunately, this outside group, unable to really make it stick. They're going to keep it going, though. They're going to keep on trying. Right now, Amar just trying to get back in line. The plan is still to try and shuffle your way around, and here they go. They got to run. Now, can they maintain the momentum? Tight knit as can be. They're right alongside with the 1 and the 99. And there's another safeguard you could use on that outside. Just run up against the wall. Because like the double yellow line on the inside, you can use it as a safeguard. To where you don't have to necessarily worry about just scooting up to the wall. Kind of like a mental barrier. You can keep your car steadier. Here comes the leaders, John Waterforce. Oh, everybody coming down. Heavy on the brakes. And masterful work by these leaders that came down. 42 of Parley and the 4 also coming down pit road as well. You'd think maybe they might have tried staying out, but understandably, here they come. All the leaders now. John Waterforce will stay your leader. Trying to get back to him. My bad. John. Oh, and there we see some beautiful graphics. We're just going to look off the nose of John Waterforce until that gets figured out. Okay, we're good. But here's the problem, though. Look at the lead he's got. John, I don't think backed up enough. But it's fine. Everybody willing to stay in line with him. But the top 5 did get a little jumbled up. The 24 of T-Dog sits second. The 5 of Amar sits third. The 99 of Nascarillo fourth. The 48 of Zach sits fifth. And that is the 77 of Jacob that rounds out this big lead pack right here. Now, my question is, here comes the 34 of Reinov off of pit road. Where is the 42 and the 4? Yeah, no. They're way too far off. Never mind. That was a weird... Ooh, 5 let off a little bit there. That was weird. Could he be trying to Nah, he ain't trying to go to the outside. He's going to stay in line. Right now, got about coming to 8 laps to go here in stage 2. Now we got the lap car of Reinov in the 34 coming up off the nose of the leader, John Waterforce. So I was going to see if we were going to start getting a little racy, but with the threat of lap traffic up ahead, and you don't really want to catch him in the corners. If you don't catch him on a straightaway, it's going to be a bad deal. He's going to run that wall. So you don't have the room necessarily to use that outside line. Now here comes the opportunity to have a little fun. But it's probably still a little early. These guys are going to run in line here for the next 3 or 4 laps. Get it down to about 3 to go, and then we're going to try some stuff. Potentially for the stage win. Coming, though, to 7 laps remaining. Look behind this group. There is that second pack. Trying to figure out who's leading it. It is the one of Jet Blast, the 19 and the 6. I thought it looked from a distance to have more cars, but these guys won't really be a factor against this front group of 6. As we know, say it with me, 6 is better than 3. Everybody who did follow that gets a gold star for the stream. Love it. 77 getting a little out of the line there. Gets back into it, though. Not going to lose much time, if any, to that lead line. I'm not gonna lie though, but once this stage ends, I'm definitely getting a blanket because I am cold, man. Yeah, remember, I'm up here in New Hampshire. It's cold as heck outside right now. But we'll deal with that in the stage break. Right now, though, John Waterforce leading them across the line. This is 5 to go. And the question still remains, in the next couple of laps, after the next couple of laps, will we see these guys start jumping out of line? And the problem is now you need bodies in that outside line. Like, it's going to take a hefty effort for it to be a 3v3. If it's a 3v3, that inside line wins all day. Even though they're well matched, or evenly matched, it's going to be bottom side all day. Top will never win that fight. See the 5 starting to fall back a little bit, putting half a car length to a car length in between him and T-Dog in the 24. Now, how do we handle this? And when do we get it handled? Is the next thing. There you see a couple of cars up in front. They shouldn't pose any effect on this lead group. This coming to 3 laps to go. The 48 and the 77 getting a little squirrely there in the back of this train. Now 3 to go. Ooh, 48 took a look. Now this is when you're really trying to be a good salesman. You're trying to sell yourself to all the competitors. Because what these guys can do is from T-Dog back is just ditch the 17. They can just leave him on the bottom to fight for himself or anybody that wants to go with him. And just completely freight train him. So you gotta convince people to work with you. And if they don't, which they probably won't, the stage went on the line. Now with 2 laps to go, it's all about how well can you block. And look at the 5. Look at Amar in the back here. I want to ride on with him. He's been aggressive this whole race. Any shot to the outside, any run he had, for the most part, he's shot to the outside. And right now, coming to the white flag. This will be 1 to go when they cross the line in stage 2. Could be run. You hear him running. 3/4 throttle. He is timing his run. The 24 and the 17 will be on their own. Doesn't want to do it yet. You want to do it on the backstretch so you don't have corners messing you up. You hear him just periodically let off and get back on. Let off, get back on. Here we go. Now how will this run go? The 24 anticipating it, and that's what's going to happen. T-Dog and the 5 of Amar. Freight train the 17, and where did everybody else go? There was 6, now 4. T-Dog up at the front. Amar in second. Who or will the 5 be able to make a run? The 48 tries to make a run at the 5. It will be T-Dog winning stage 2. The 5 of Amar second. The 48 finishing third. And that is Zach in 6th. John Waterforce finishes 4th. And Ozzy in the 19 will round out the top 5. With the 1 behind him in 6th. We'll get a full rundown here in a second of at least the top 10. We'll see how quick I can read, which is probably not very, but it will be Jet Blast in 6th, Ja'Cory Farkle 7th, Parley 8th, pushing Evan 9th, and Slick Nick in, rounding out the top 10. Oh no. Why is the 99 the 77 on pit road? I think I might have a streaming issue. We'll see about that. Once we get this going, we might have to do some funky things. But we'll let them go green here. Amar and T-Dog gonna lead them to it. Green flag is out. This, for all the marbles at the end of this, the start, or the first winner of Season 3 in the NARS Cup Series will be crowned. It will be a 33 lap sprint. So there are multiple cars on pit road. So I think I'm not seeing things, but look at how far T-Dog is falling. He started shotgun on the front row and now sits way in the back. But the 5, having no problem, Zamar. Currently the race leader, 48, right on his tail. Oh, we're at the perfect lap, baby. 69 of 100 laps completed. Or we are on lap 69 of 100. Doesn't matter. Excuse me. Still the perfect number. We can stop the race right now. And now the fun's over. Start of lap 70. So 31 laps to go. There goes the 9. Little bit in the back there. Trying to get that outside line going. Slick Nick. Now T-Dog, John Waterforce leading that outside group. AC D'Artagnan there just being able to link up with him. Got the 4, the 9, Will, and now has no choice. He is now going to be shuffled out to the outside. So they got the numbers, but unfortunately they checked up real heavy once they caught the 9, and now that whole group has to get down to the bottom because they lost all that momentum. Now everybody in a line here behind the 4 of Amar. I'm listening, and if I ever go quiet for a little bit, it's usually because I'm either spacing out or I'm listening to the race chatter. Especially at a place like Daytona, they could be talking strategy that I could relay, all these other things, or they're just gossiping and I want to hear what's going on. LOL. I'll especially do it if there's a yellow, so that way I can see if anybody's mad at each other, because that's when it gets really fun. But here we go, John Waterforce in the 17, jumping up to the outside. Oh boy, here we go! No! John Waterforce! Oh, getting double dumped! Oh, John Waterforce is around and in front of the 24! And we're doing a yellow at the line, a manual yellow thrown. Here on lap 74 with the 17 of John Waterforce taking the spin cycle here at Daytona. And what a job by the 24. He had the 17 go across his nose and he kept it going. So now the field will reset. The 34 going to do a drive-by. And this is a weird spot because you got 27 laps remaining, and that's not enough to get you to the end if you pit now. Now, the thing is, too, this might not be... I don't know why I'm on a car that's not racing. I apologize. But that might not be the only yellow that flies. Because this is Daytona. And to win here is huge. So you're going to have guys pushing the limit, taking runs that they might not need to. And we might see some more of what we just saw. Our guys just getting squirrely on the bottom, which is what kicked off the 17 struggle. As the drivers now come down pit road. 34 taking the wave around. He will be back on the lead lap once we go green. As we're watching two cars. I don't know if that's a mating ritual on pit road, but they're doing something, the 48 and the 1. All right, we have found a coat. So we are a lot less cold, or a little less cold than we were before. I don't really have a shawl or a blanket that I feel comfortable wrapping around myself. That way I win. Get the sleeves all buttoned up here. That way I don't have to worry about them flopping around. The cars here on track will go 2 by 2. We'll wait for the 34 to catch back up here. He's on pit road now, just getting off, so he will race around. Doesn't have to worry about the turn 2 exit mandate. There we go. Everybody's all here. The gang is all here. They're in the Geico restart zone. And the green flag waves. As I had no engine noise. So the green flag back out. Amar jumps out to the race lead. Not going to lie, I was a little worried there. There was a black streak going up the track in turn 1. I thought it was a black line on my TV for some reason, and I got really worried. But we're fine. My TV still looks as beautiful as it did before that incident in my brain happened. But look at this. Amar out to a good lead, but not for Daytona. Everybody's going to get a huge run on them when they get all linked up. You want to back right off here. Do a little let off, let on, let off, let on, let off, let on, and try and get to those cars that are behind you in order to not get freight trained on the bottom. Which wouldn't affect him too much, but look at him go. Amar's like, miss me with all that. I got the lead and I want to be here. The 5 is actually holding his own rather well. And now look at this. The 5 jumps up high, but now he's going to get freight trained. Oh, trying to block the outside, but the 19 makes a heck of a move. Ozzy to the pole or to the front. The lead position. John Waterforce goes with him. The 5 from the lead down to 4th. And how about this 19 of Ozzy? Here in the latter stage of this race, he is out front leading. But he was mostly in the back, in the top 5 here and there. But a clever move on the outside. But look who's coming now. That is the 17 of John Waterforce to the outside. It's 2v whatever. And now the 5 jumping in here. The 14 of D'Artagnan. We got a respectable outside line. The 19 tries to go up to block. John Waterforce was already there. Oh! Ozzy trying to put the block on. He has to let off the entire inside line. Has to let off. That gives John Waterforce the run he needed to get back alongside him. Now here comes the help from the 14. The outside line, they're losing the numbers. They had the numbers. All they had to do was just stick together. I know I sound like a Disney movie, but it's not wrong. And now the 5 going to jump up to the high line, has a run. He's going to use the outside line to help keep it going. Maybe they can, but one more car would make this a really good fight. Because right now they're just losing momentum. The inside line is more together. They got the numbers. It's a preferred line. We'll go back to that outside line when they start gathering it back up. But right now, though, 5 took a shot. That outside line was working. He thought it could still work. And now it falls apart. And he will drop to the tail end of this line. And look who's back in the top 5. A man who's been outside of this lead group for a hot minute. The 42 of Parley. Sitting P4 now. Remember this 42 car won last week at this very track in the Clash. Granted, he had much more control over that race than he has done tonight, but do not count out this 42. As the 9 of Slick Nick and the 34 have falling off the lead pace. Here goes the 24 T-Dog and the 4 looking to go to the outside as well. That is the 4. I'm pushing heaven. I swear to God I will learn these names. "19 of Aussie Rules we will stay with until the outside line tries some things. Oh, the 1 shuffled out. Parley quick to take the spot. Up to 3rd. And +1 beyond that. Position-wise, as the 1 car will drop all the way to the tail end of Jet Blast. And he's quick to get back down to the bottom. Real good driving by the 1. Get back in the draft as quick as possible so you can get yourself back to the back end of this lead group. And quick to it is he. Jet Blast will stay with these lead cars. So we go back to Aussie. Right now, 17 laps to go to decide a winner. And I believe they will have to pit one more time before this stage ends. I do not think they can make it to the end. Of course, I don't drive a lot, so I don't know how much a full tank on a 50%er is. I believe it's 21. Should have paid a little bit more attention when they were on pit road last, but can't really rewind it because we're watching on Twitch. But it's fine. 16 to go now as they cross the line that last time by. Now everybody up here minding the business. 13 laps of fuel remain. They will have to stop one more time before this is over because they have 16 laps left and 13 laps of fuel. So they have to stop at around 3 to go, but as the laps keep going, and these guys in the back keep going three-quarter throttle, or letting on, letting off into the corners, as we've seen. No. Rillo on the race. I did not miss the 99 and the 17 and the 77 lagging out. I just didn't know if they completely had, and I did say something about it, so. But here we go. We already got the 34 and the 9 coming down. They were at the tail end of the field. $14 to go, 13 and a half where they run right now. So we'll jump back on with the 19, running with the 42 of Parley there for a second. $13 laps remain. Oh, here we go. We got some action here with the 5. Going to jump out of line, see if he can make it work. He's got the numbers. Everybody going to go to the outside. We want some action, and here it comes. Potentially. First, it's got to stay. And the 5 going to jump back down to the bottom. Going to try and get a run. It's all about timing. Timed it in the corner, and it didn't have the momentum. So back down to the bottom they go. They're going to try again here. You see the 5 backing up. On, off on the throttle. Now we'll see what he does on the backstretch. Nah, I was thinking he was going to try it. Oh, you see a couple of guys getting squirrely into 3. 17 showing he's wanting to try the outside. Or at least we'll go with that's what he was doing. Wasn't because he may have lost the handle on his car on entry, but we'll jump back to your race leader of Aussie Rules. Here as we are down to 11 to go. Nope, and here we go. The leaders coming down pit road. How crazy is this about to be? Oh, man, Parley gains a spot on entry. He came down. He was in third. He will pit in second. We'll sit on here with Reinov in the 34. Give him a little bit more love tonight. As we wait for the leaders to get off of pit road. And there they go. Being led off by the 19. Oh, sweet merciful jeez. We're going to ride on the body of this 19. Oh, it's a 19. Getting stuck. 42 of Parley. Decided not to go around in that moment as to not cause a wreck. A good choice by the 42. And he will sit in line in second. Oh, boy. Oh, a lot of checking up going on throughout the line. Oh, my. Coming to 9 to go. Can count the laps down with your hands. Look at this, the 77 and the 24. Losing touch with that lead group now. Or not the 77, sorry, the 38, my bad. I can't read. That is Snowy in the 38. 24, T-Dog. And the 4 of Heaven, pushing Heaven. Now group of 3 back here, but starting to lose pace to that lead group. As we wait to get engine noise back, there it is. 8 laps to go. Continuing to wind down, and the number of drivers that are in contention for this win is continuing to dwindle as well, with now only 7. 4 of those lead pack cars are now out of this one. Now just fighting for their own positions, because every position's a point. But Ozzy right now has got to be on pins and needles, as we are on 7 laps to go. 6.5 now that they've hit the backstretch of pins and needles, because right now we saw what happened at the end of stage 2. Drivers getting freight trained on the bottom, and now here comes John Waterforce in a group of 3 trying to get the outside line to work. Who's got the gonads to go with them to make it 4 on 3? Nobody, as the 5 jumps back down to the bottom. It's too early, they say up at the front. Everybody back in line they go. And because if you get it real wrong, you will be out of contention entirely. And there you see lap traffic up ahead. Probably another deterrent, because you don't want to be side by side and catch a slow car, because that is just a caution waiting to happen. So I bet you, though, once they get around that 34 of Reinov, that they will start getting real racy. 5 laps to go. And here we go. They're around, and there they go. The 5 leading them to it. We'll do the look back, see if they can get a run forming. Like I said, though, you just need that 4th car. Get the bottom completely discombobulated. Oh, man, is they're just going haywire behind the 19. Oh, my. And there you go. The 6 leading them now. 4v3. That's what they needed. Jacoby Farkle. He's going to dip down to the bottom, see if he can use that inside line to get a little bit of a run. And really slingshot himself. But unfortunately, no. Or is he timing it for the back straightaway? No, they do not take the run. Here comes the 5, using as much draft as possible. And he is looking to slingshot the 6. A little bit of side draft with the 48. But unfortunately unable to make it stick. Ozzy can see the mayhem happening behind him, but it's not those guys back there in 4th on back. It's that man sitting in 2nd, the 42 of Parley. It was the 2nd place car that ended up getting that stage 2 win. And we have 3 laps to go. Make that move on the last lap if you're in 2nd, but if the run is there from those cars behind you, you have to take it if they get before they can get alongside. 2 laps remain at Daytona. And look at the lead. Oh, the plotting begins. Parley, though, getting shuffled out. Oh, the 19 tries to go up and mess up the outside line. Here we go. This out of turn 4, coming to the white flag. The inside line has enough numbers to keep themselves equal with the outside line now. And now the outside losing numbers. John Waterforce back to the bottom. 3v4. White flag is out. This for the win. Parley. What does he have? Oh, cars going everywhere. Parley to the outside. He is there, but everybody went to the bottom. The 1 leaves him out. Ozzy now with a run. Parley trying to get to the bottom, wasn't there. Ozzy, can he hold on? Has to get through the tri-oval. The 1 going to go to the outside. He won't have help. Ozzy rules, wins at Daytona. John Waterforce finishes 3rd. It was the 1 by a hair. JetBlue finishing 2nd. Zach in 6th, 4th. Jakari Farkle rounds out the top 5. Amar 6th, Parley 7th, Snowy 8th, Pushin' Evan 4th, and T-Dog rounding out the top 10. What a job by the 19 of Ozzy. Stuck with it through all the chaos. And comes out your season opener winner at Daytona. And by golly gosh, that was one hell of a way to start off season 3. All right, now we're going to try and get John Waterforce up here so that way we can. There he is. See if he can get the top 3 up here so that way we can have a chat with them. But John Waterforce was one of the top 3. I'm just now absolutely realizing Jet Blast now in here, finishing second, and we're waiting on your race winner.
Should be here in a minute.
Yeah. There he is. Aussie Rules now in here. So we'll get these top 3 interviews started, starting with the man who finished in 3rd, John Waterforce. If he's got his ears on.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Well, you had a lot of chances there at the end to try and make moves, but you were making moves the whole race. Walk me through it. How your plan going in?
Just position myself at the end, and you got to make the outside work. And I encouraged everybody to make the outside work. We can run double file, and we proved that you can run double file. It's tough, but we still did it, and made some adjustments in the pits, and my car was really fast. If the guys behind me could get into a line, and we could get the draft going, and at the same time, if the inside line would kind of check up a little bit, I had no problem getting to the front. So it was one of the best super speedway races I've ever raced on this game, hands down.
I was going to say you were in control of this one for a good bit of this race. What was it at the end? Do you think you could have made a different kind of run, made a run earlier, or was it do what you got to do?
Yeah, I mean, I was so far back in line, I couldn't really make a move. I was just going to be the pusher. So whenever, the outside line kind of checked up, I took it upon myself to drive to the inside and pick up some spots and get to 4th. And then the 42 made a run to the outside of 19. And I was going to stick with the 19, but the 1 kind of blocked me a little bit. So, it was just try to get as many spots as you can. On the last lap, it's kind of the name of the game if you're not at least challenging the lead. So that was my plan on the last lap, is just to see if I can make it to a podium spot, and we did it.
All right, well, hey man, congratulations on your podium spot, finishing P3 tonight, and we'll see you next week at where are we racing next week?
That's a good question.
Oh my God, brother!
That's a good question. We will be racing at Phoenix. We'll be racing Phoenix.
Oh boy, so that's a shift.
Yep, that's I've grown to love that track a little more as I've gotten more experience there. So it should be another good race there next week.
All right, well, we'll see you in Phoenix next week. Hopefully in another booth shot. We'll see.
I hope so too, man. I appreciate you coming on board with us. It means a lot.
Yeah, sure, no problem, buddy. And that will move us to P2 in the 1-car Jet Blast. If he's got his ears on.
I am ready.
Oh, shoot. Well, I mean, you had an up and down day. You started shotgun on the front row and just immediately found yourself at the tail end of that lead line, having to walk me through the balance of like being up at the front, falling to the back, being up at the front, falling to the back, and trying to like mentally keep yourself like fighting through that.
Well, I may have passed more cars than anybody tonight, but dropping to the back was kind of a design. I wanted to sit back there. I kind of just wanted to ride. It's my first race in this league, and I wanted to make a good first impression. That sort of thing. And I felt like I did that for the most part. Drafting help was hard to come by because, hey, I'm the new guy. So I didn't really get too many partners that wanted to work with me. But I just kind of sat back there and enjoyed my time and, made some runs and just tested a few things. And I'll take what I learned onto some other plate tracks in the playoffs like Talladega. So it wasn't all for naught, and I'm happy with the P2.
Yeah, and you had that run there at the end, and maybe if you had that help, do you think you could have given Ozzy a run, or was it too little too late?
Uh, I mean, coming to 2 to 3 to go, I realized that I was not going to win the race. I had already had that mindset, and it was stuck in my mind. Just your track position is hard to come by at the end, unless you have partners or a huge run. You're really not going to do anything with it sitting back fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh place where I was coming towards the end of that thing. And a couple guys went high with 2 to 3 to go, and I kind of went up there for a second, and then I dropped low because I needed those spots, I needed that leverage, I needed that track position coming to the end. And coming down the back straightaway on the last lap, I was right there pushing the 42. He got a big run, went to the high side. I went to follow him, and I was hoping there was going to be a gap in between the 19 and the 42, and I was just going to take it 3 wide because the moose is loose, right? And that gap didn't open up, so I went back down to the bottom and guarded my track position and pushed the 19 across the line. And I tried to get a run out of 4, but it was too little, too late.
Yeah, well, now walk me through next week. Phoenix, is that a track that you're confident in, or?
I'm pretty confident at most tracks, and that's not tooting my own horn. I'm pretty experienced with this game, and I feel like I'll be up front at Phoenix. I don't know that I'll win Phoenix. I don't know that I have that kind of pace, but I think I'll at least find something enough to be a top 3 to 5 contender.
All right, well, hey, man, good first impression on your debut here in the NARS series, and we'll see you next week at Phoenix.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. And we will now move on to the 19, your race winner, Aussie Rules. Now, walk me through that last lap. I want to know from the leader's perspective, because you had the lead for pretty much all of stage 3. Walk me through that last lap. You know the run's coming. You got that bead of sweat dripping down the back of your neck. What was the anxiety like just preparing for that run to happen? Ozzy?
Nope, sorry. I'm not gonna lie. It was stressful when I saw that 42 go to the outside and the one go with him. I thought, yeah, there it goes. Getting to the front, like Jet Blast said, getting to the front and being there at the end is an accomplishment in itself. But managing to get over that line first you're a sitting duck if you're in the lead. I feel like sometimes. So, no, I'm fortunate that the one decided to push me instead of go with the 42, and all these guys that we're racing with, it's a really good group of people. So, no harm, no foul. If whoever you decide to go with, it's all good fun. But no, hard to get wins in this league. And as Waterforce said, it was a really impressive race tonight. One of the better Daytona races I've been a part of. So. And not just because I won it, but yeah, good group of people, good race. Happy to have the help at the end there.
Yeah, and walk me through that beginning stage, because you were off of that lead group, I believe, through that first stage, and you had to work your way back up throughout the race, and it wasn't until the end of stage 2 or start of stage 3 where you finally got back to the front. Walk me through how you methodically made your way back up through that field.
Yeah, I mean, I think at some point in these races, it's a bit of a race of attrition, right? So you make a mistake, you lose the draft, and it's really easy to lose a lap. And once you go a lap down here, there's not not a lot coming back. Can't really come back from that. So, at the end of the first stage there, I think we had some pit road strategy that kind of went a little bit off, and we found ourselves in a second pack, and somehow we were able to reel in the lead pack and made a bit of a run at the end there, and then we all kind of got jumbled up and had some had some had some stuff going on, some cars bouncing into walls and just getting tight together and everything. So that's all good. It wasn't. It was the end of the stage, so everybody gets bunched back up anyway. And then the second stage, I was just riding around. No reason to push the issue. And I think, while we were trying to go too wide and get some runs and make it exciting, I think everybody was just logging laps. And then the third stage, obviously, as you know, it's the make or break. You got to go for it. So. I'm not sure what got me to the front. I think at one point I had huge hope from Waterforce. I mean, I don't know how, there was a big pack on the bottom, and then I saw Waterforce coming up on the outside, and I've raced a lot with Waterforce, so I thought, well, let's see if we can make something happen. So I moved to the outside, and he had some help behind him, and somehow I think we had less cars in the top. We just had the momentum, and it got us to the front, and from there we just kind of kept plugging away. So, yeah, echo it again. I mean, good group of people to work with. A lot of these guys, I've raced with a lot. I know Jet Blast is a rookie in this league, but he's gonna do some stuff this year.
Yeah, and I know I asked Jet Blast, and I know I asked John Waterforce. I don't know why that name escaped me all of a sudden. That's weird, but. I know I asked them, but how confident are you about next week at Phoenix? Because now you got a win to defend at a track where it's going to be a little bit harder.
Yeah, good question. That's I'm not confident at all. Daytona is it's a bit of a crapshoot. I mean, you can have some guys that are just not competitive, or not, shouldn't say competitive. They're not not as confident or as as fast on these technical tracks like Phoenix and short tracks and road course and things. I think I'm decent, but as I said, there's a lot of good guys in here, a lot of really fast guys in here that I think are going to be a force to be reckoned with. So if you're not tuning into NARS, you're going to miss out on a lot of stuff. I think it's going to be some pretty exciting racing up front. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Phoenix for me, I'll just be watching the show from from the middle of the pack. I think not a good track for me.
All right, well, hey, at least you got that first win out of the way, and we'll look forward to seeing what you can do next week at Phoenix.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Wilbridge. And hey, thank you for calling the race. It's a pleasure having you on board here. It's looking forward to seeing the stream back and watching what you're what you do.
Oh, well, you guys just know how to make a girl blush.
I was paid to say that.
Damn it. That's what they all say, too. All right.
Good to have you on board.
All right, well, thank you, brother. And that is going to do it for the driver interviews and also do it for the season opener of Season 3 here in the NARS Cup Series. Next week, Phoenix, the other tricky triangle with multiple lines and that dreaded dog leg. We look forward to seeing you guys there next Friday at 9, potentially 9:30, whatever, p.m. Eastern Time. But for tonight, my name is Walbridge. This has been the NARS Cup Series, and we are